All right, three, two, one. All right, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so we will get a drink after this. For all the guests that haven't seen the show, this is the Lifted experience. This is Rahul Zota. He's I think he's 27, 26.
Yeah, 20, almost 20, about to turn 25.
About to turn. Okay, all right. I was close enough. We went to high school together.
Yeah.
Grew up good friends. He's in cybersecurity. He's a very smart guy. I grew up, in the same atmosphere as him. I didn't really know him too deep on a depth level surface, but I knew he's a good guy. He always brought good vibes, and
Well,
he's always
we reconnected, pretty well recently. I would say like
we
after high school, midst of college, maybe after college type vibe.
Yeah, we did. So I'm thankful for that actually. It's always good to have people that, that are intelligent and that you can kind of see in your own way. I see a lot of intelligence in you, um, genuinely. So
I appreciate that. I hope it's not just the glasses.
no,
I know.
not just the glasses, man. It's the suits, it's the whole appearance, it's the
Yeah.
whole appearance, man. It's the whole appearance. So tell us what it's like. What's the cybersecurity world like, and
Yeah,
what's the day to day, you know?
definitely. I'll kind of talk about how I first got into it. I think when a lot of people see, hear cybersecurity, they're gonna think I'm either some crazy hacker, some crazy like developer engineer type. Candidly, I'm on the sales side of things, so I'm very in touch with the community, right? But definitely not someone on the front lines trying to, working to save a company, a country, right? Even a kind of a government organization. So, but cybersecurity, man, dang. First, got to say, one of the best sales jobs I could have taken out of college. Definitely a booming kind of industry, but I mean, it's kind of crazy. I never
Yeah,
like to fear monger, but the ability for an individual, right, to go to a country like Russia or China, where they're very pro hacker, right? A lot of times, the countries that are coming after America, coming after American companies, are going to be
sure.
located in some of these places of the world, right? It's always going to be a Russian, kind of Chinese, North Korean type attack.
You saw the study. You saw the study, right? It was like they asked a group of individuals in like China or whatever, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they're like all engineers, and then like and the Americans, they're like, I want to be a YouTuber. So I mean, it's like,
That's definitely the culture. That's definitely the kind of the era we're in. I will
yeah,
say that those countries just they have less kind of infrastructure in place to be able to know that there's hacker within the country. But then moving forward, right? My like the reason I say this is because I talk to customers and I ask them, you're obviously here talking to me today because you're interested in cybersecurity. You're not where you want to be. What type of threats are you seeing? And so it's either some type of phishing attack, bunch of emails, their employee clicks one, boom, they have the username and password for their Microsoft stack, think Microsoft Teams, their Outlook, all of their servers internally that house information.
damn. All right, I got a question.
That's where that shit comes from. You know what I
I
mean?
got a question, man. So
Yeah.
like, I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I got Gmail on my phone,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I know I see some scam emails. I'm like, these motherfuckers aren't getting me. Like, are they getting me? Are they actually getting me, even if I'm not clicking it? Or like, how's that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Like,
So I'll
you know,
say
if they got
from the
my email, am
phishing
I fucked? Or like,
from the phishing sense, you're good.
Okay,
A lot of times these guys are going for ultra targeted people. They're going for corporate accounts. Right now, if I were to go on my email and click a suspicious link, there's definitely data that they can get from me. But a lot of times, like on a personal attack, it's never enough to really be worried about. Yeah,
okay,
thankfully.
yeah.
Um,
So I'm just gonna fucking keep delete,
I mean, I
deleting
will
that
say,
spam.
I will
I'm
say,
gonna keep deleting that
the
spam.
one of the smartest guys I ever met in cybersecurity, probably a 56-year-old guy. I met him at a cybersecurity conference, and then my company had a dinner after the fact. He basically told me, and he told this to his kids, if you want to stay ultra secure, get off, unplug everything,
Yeah.
Never go on the internet. Don't even go outside because Zach. One thing that's crazy, and I'm sure some of the either you or maybe someone listening to the podcast right now has seen this on TV. You can even go outside, right? I live in New York City. You're going to see infinite people the moment you go outside. Let's say there's a up and coming rapper, right? Guy pays you $1 to take the CD. That never happens, right? First of all, they're always going to ask for money. But let's say
Right.
in a weird world, he's paying you $1 to take the CD. Give him a chance. Just check him out. You woke up on the right side of the bed today, and you're a pretty good guy. You're probably happy that the guy's even putting himself out there. So you take the CD, you put it in your computer, right there. That guy can scan everything and take everything from your computer and access your webcam and be monitoring you 24/7.
Wow. So
Yeah,
I'll get you on this. I'm not taking
that's
any
scary.
I'm not taking any CDs from random strangers. I'll tell you that. I mean,
That's
but
funny.
so they got some things out there like that. Like
Yeah.
other than CDs, what would you say? What else is, is it? I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean
where else
CDs
does it
like
go? Where else does it?
I'm not gonna lie, man. When you kind of open up the rabbit hole of trying to stay secure in the day of age of internet electronics, we mentioned that thing about the YouTubers earlier. There's too much. The most old school thing is probably the CD and the USB, but literally getting onto a public Wi-Fi could expose yourself, right? So when I'm talking to folks, and again, I've never been someone like I don't work for NordVPN, right? I'm not selling
Right,
to any consumer. For
right.
me, it's never been about like individual people, but zooming out, I would just say understand what is crucially important, right? Never keep your passwords on a notepad in your computer. That's that. I guess that's like number one thing.
Damn,
Yeah,
motherfuckers got me, dude.
I will say though, and then there are some good guys there. At least I buy into marketing. Like the iPhone, extremely secure. They do a really good job with everything they can do. But again, when you go on a public Wi-Fi thing, the person who owns that domain, they do have the ability to kind of go through not just browse what you did on their Wi-Fi, but browse your entire data on your phone, just
Right.
because they have the IP address and like all these random things
Yeah.
that I don't even know about that
And
allows
then
them to
and
do that.
then Big Corp owns them in a
Yeah,
way because,
yeah.
that's how it
But I
works.
will
And then
say,
they get the
yeah,
information, so the government's listening too.
the government's listening. Ultimately, the government's still trying to stay secure too, right? So it's like it's this little weird game where I guess one big thing, and I'm sure you've seen this. You're an investor. Artificial intelligence taking over everything in the sense of it's taking over headlines. It's the primary driver for the S&P 500, the stock market. That's crucial in cybersecurity just because you can go to the countries I named earlier and you can buy almost a strain of like ransomware, some type of AI powered attack that no company, no person has ever seen before. And it's never been this easy with the creation and now adoption of ChatGPT, OpenAI. I'm sure maybe there's someone here who's an AI guy. I'm not. Candidly, I'm
Yeah.
not super into that walk of life. But I did work for an AI powered kind of cybersecurity company, so
Yeah,
very very touched.
to my knowledge, like the AI is already controlling the stock market, What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
In the sense of if you're a company today, and let's say you've done nothing, right? Let's say you're Domino's, they don't touch AI. You go on MSNBC, hell, you even go on Twitter and you talk for 20 minutes about how you're thinking about the adoption of AI and how it's gonna revolutionize the metagame for Domino's Pizza. Your stock price it's gonna multiply by at least two, right? So I don't know too much in the weeds of like the actual manipulation of AI by tracking all the people and looking at all the data. There's a good sci-fi movie to be like watched there, and
Yeah,
honestly, it's probably true, but it's so far away from the things I can control that I throw it away. But
yeah.
in the sense of like you have any random company just talk about AI. I think there was a report today. Apple talked about how they're gonna look to use AI in their phones, and then like you
Mm.
scroll down one sentence, and they're like, we're not gonna share anything yet. We don't know. But you look at the Apple
So, do
stock.
you see those fucking glasses that are coming out, dude?
True, true.
For Apple,
Yeah,
dude.
true.
I'm getting them.
I'm not gonna lie. You're
I'm
you're
getting
gonna
them.
have some viewers. You're gonna have some viewers, and we're definitely gonna meet a lot of people in Hanover, right in
Yeah,
Virginia. that are going to try and call them dumb and whatever. But if you have a software engineer, if you have anyone who works in technology, our buddy Kyle, he has 7 monitors, right?
Yeah.
Each of those monitors costs about $200 to $300. With those glasses, you have 100 monitors everywhere you look,
Yeah.
right? So the value add is there. Because I had this
Yeah.
conversation with my dad. He was like,
But
"Who's gonna buy a
it's
damn?"
3 grand, dude. I was like, dude, I'm fucking
Well,
ready. Let's go.
I mean, I want to take him to the club. Honestly, $4,000. Like that's a
Just run
flex.
around fucking in one world, dude. I
You'll
mean,
be in your own club at the club.
what do you need what do you need projectors for anymore?
Exactly. Candidly though, like with the what you call it, like having a Mac and having the glasses, you do not need a big setup that you're seeing a lot. A lot of people in COVID, they went balls to the wall, right? They're like, I'm gonna make myself a beautiful office. I'm gonna get a bunch of monitors, a new chair.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
which is
nobody wants to go back to the fucking retail space now,
yeah, yeah, that's true.
you
Retail
know?
is yeah.
So,
That
I
that
mean,
that is that's something we could talk about. That stuff's sad.
there's a lot of commercial space out here right now that's really not performing.
I guess I kind of want to hear your perspective on exactly like what happens as that continues.
I think what happens is, I mean, we're in a fucking weak society. We're in a weak environment right now, and I think that's due to uh, part of it's due to the current administration. And we're weak as a country, and it's honestly embarrassing. So what do I think
No,
we do?
I agree with you, man. I was at a CVS literally yesterday, right? And I've been, I've been back in town for about a little over a week now, so I've probably the second time I've been to the CVS. I went there the first day I was here. There's popping maybe 7, 8 folks inside, 2 people working there. I go 2 days ago. I'm talking to the manager. I was like, oh, like, a lot more quiet in here. Why are you the only guy working? I like to make small talk as I'm checking out. Guy tells me that both of his staff, 2 girls, just quit. He has to work a 14-hour shift today. He worked a 14-hour shift yesterday. And this guy's 60 years old. And I was like, first of all, man, that's tough. I mean, that's rough, like on his health and shit. But then secondly, I asked him, I was like, how's it been trying to find a new employee? And he told me it was impossible. So it's a combination, right, of one, how the fuck do you pay rent? And then two, I mean, first of all, a lot of people are getting wrecked, right? And then you
Yeah,
take on top that, I don't know, it just feels like finding an employee for the little guy is incredibly hard with, I know they've changed a little bit about the minimum wage and just things like that, the COVID relief with $1,000. I think a
yeah,
couple years ago that was probably a reason, but today it's like it's hard to blame that little $1,000 grant, even though it inflated our whole economy. But that
right.
that's a conversation for another day, I think.
I mean, I think we live in a competitive world, and
True.
it's a competitive environment, and there will be a day, I think, that will bring us back where we need those guys that nail down the roof and
Yeah.
turn the
True.
screws,
Great
and
folks.
it's like if I could just take all this AI away and electronics of all sorts, I would just destroy it. I'd go back to the old days, paper, mailbox. Not because I don't like the competition, but just because of the
Yeah.
toxic environment that it's
It's almost
created.
like we're kind of getting away from what made the country so great originally, almost.
Yeah, and it's in our human nature to do things and go outside, and it's like we're just living in this virtual reality, and I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
helping the cause.
You're not
I'm
buying
not
the five
helping the
thousand dollar product.
I'm not helping the cause, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
it's entertaining and it's fun, and I think life's about experiences, and if you can talk to everybody about their experience with life, with whatever they're doing. I think it's really important to do that. So that's why, I know you told me you sent me a link this morning. You're like, yo, I saw the podcast. It was cool, man. Because I hadn't heard from you in probably a couple
Exactly.
months.
Yeah.
So you are living in New York now.
Yeah. Living in New York, moved in
Wow, you told me you
December.
were moving, bro. I didn't think you were going, but
I'm not
congrats.
gonna lie. I was definitely one of those guys who was like, oh, like I'm gonna move in May. May came, and I'm gonna move in July. July came, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
fuck. get my mouth shut. Ultimately, though, thankfully, like you remember Reed. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sure if you
he's
remember.
cool.
Yeah, Reed's my roommate there, and then I have another roommate, Solomon, great guy. He went to Cornell, and I used to work with him. So like, no, having two roommates, awesome. And then we're big proponents of nightlife there.
Yeah,
So definitely a
I
big
know
fan
you're a
of.
nightlife kind of guy.
Well, I gotta say, moving from small town Richmond or hell, like even anywhere else in the country, going to a place where the bars close at 4 o'clock, absolute game changer. The
Uh-huh.
2 a.m. to the 4 a.m. absolute game changer.
So you getting hammered, man, or what?
Yeah. I mean, I try to limit the bull tools that I do use, but we've been
Right.
drinking here and there. There's always a lot of birthday parties. I've probably met at least like 50 folks since I met over there, just because Cornell's in Ithaca, which is in New York. I
Yeah.
didn't know what the hell Ithaca was before I moved there,
Yeah.
honest to God.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're always coming in the city and stuff like that. So a lot of pre games, post games.
Any
I'm excited.
any
I'm excited for
girlfriends?
what's that?
Any girlfriends?
I think I'm going to be sharing this podcast with a couple folks. So no girlfriend right now. Some contenders, but.
Entertainment. Yeah, I hear
Yeah. No, I mean, not
you.
entertainment, but it's one of those things where I think, especially after college, after like kind of when you mature a little bit, like you go on a couple dates here and there for sure, but
Yeah.
I'm someone who like puts a little bit more power on that word,
Mm.
than your kind of status quo, young guy. Like for me, I think, and this is kind of deep. I don't even know if you want to go in this direction,
Oh
but
yeah,
for me,
go.
it's like if I'm throwing that word out there and that's the label, like there's an absolute intention of marriage and all that shit down
Yeah,
the road. At this
that's
point,
great. Yeah, that's not deep. That's just real, man. I mean,
yeah.
it might be deep, but no,
Well,
that's real.
it's a weird thing, man. I mean, like I'm not sure if you saw the interview. I didn't watch it, but we're living in a time where Tucker Carlson's interviewing Andrew Tate, and it almost feels like the moment you kind of go back to these old school ideals, it's for me, right? Again, these old school ideals come from my dad. They come from Indian culture, Indian heritage. There's nothing right
Yeah,
about that. But
yeah,
for some reason, especially in this country, a lot of times people like to kind of add this politicized label and stuff like that. So, especially living in New York, I tend to pick my words fairly carefully,
yeah. I
just
bet you
because,
do. I bet you do, man.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I don't know how I do in New York, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm
It,
not gonna lie, man. Like, there's definitely a lot of people that kind of just take what the mainstream media says, they regurgitate it. I had a guy even yesterday. He sent me, he saw this tweet or this article, thought it was a super funny headline, and he sent it to me. I'm like, great. I'd love for people to do that. I clicked the link, I clicked the article, clicked the tweet, and it's literally behind a paywall, and it's some some news article about Donald Trump getting arrested, or like the
mhm.
Ark of the
And
Covenant,
yeah,
how he's locked
indictment.
in his house. I don't know, and I'm just asking the guy. I'm like, oh, okay, like, so did you find a workaround this paywall, or did you just read the headline and just send it to me? And he was like, I'm not gonna lie, I just read the headline. And look, I'm not a teacher. I'm not your mom, right? I'm not gonna come and hit you with a goddamn ruler. But I was like, look, man, that shit's pretty dangerous. Just
Yeah,
just only reading the headlines. Like, I don't give a shit if you're on the left, if you're on the right, because either way, you're gonna be fed some garbage if you
yeah,
do that. So,
yeah.
kind of a PSA there, and I hope he's not listening because kind of roasted your shit.
Just give him that dollar,
Yeah,
man.
honestly, I might have to.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that's
But I will say though, on the other side of things, I kind of was in the same walk of life as you. Not being the biggest fan of Ralph,
uh-huh.
but I mean, after the last episode, that's like the realest news is the news you get from your neighbor. So
Yeah.
I thought that was something that's kind of cool, where it was just like
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a
here's what
fan of
it
him. He said some pretty weird shit. There's an article, there's a video out on YouTube talking about like post-abortion, and it was just really weird. And I'm a big Alex Jones fan. I love him. He's
so funny.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
love his. He says some
yeah,
crazy shit, but he's funny. I remember
yeah.
that clip he had with Kanye. That one was a little much, but
Well, I mean,
well,
kind of.
it was Kanye going crazy, not AJ.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you it's a free world, right? You can interview who you want.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
So yeah, I like Alex Jones. I truly believe that he knows a lot of secrets to the universe, and
Mm.
you know, I trust him on mainly everything, and you either love him or you hate him, you know.
Yeah, no, he's definitely that kind of guy. He's definitely
Yeah,
that. I will say, like in the clips I see from him, I always appreciate just like, you know, it is an absolute like it's a real skill to be a rally up a crowd like that.
yeah,
And that guy, like when he's actually there, the amount of energy and just I don't want to say faith, but the amount he can just give off the vibe that he cares, it powers up a crowd, fires them up, and hell, even if you're just watching the YouTube video, you're fired up right then and there.
that dude's an
Listen,
animal, man.
yeah,
He's
absolute
an
animal.
animal. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, and if, I don't know if you've seen all the videos, but you know, he gets drunk on some of them, and I mean, he's just hilarious. So, you
yeah.
know, and I tend to agree with pretty much all his views on, you know, the world in a way.
Yeah,
So, you know,
I definitely been more on like my Joe Rogan that type of shit. So I haven't
sure,
seen all the Alex, but from what I've seen of him, I'm definitely not a hater. But he has a
yeah,
lot of haters, man. A lot of
yeah,
haters. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Well, that Joe Rogan, I listen to him a lot, and I think he gave me the idea. I love listening to his podcast, and I just love like talking to people and like hearing different stories. And you know, I was like I said a while back, I wanted to start a podcast, like, and so like I just kind of started one, and you know, it's just fun. You know, you just hop right
Yeah.
in and you just talk, and you know, we'll get some dinner later. But it's just something that you know that I wanted to do. So you kind of just have to hop on it, you know.
And I will say, with the difference with the Lifted experience versus pretty much any other podcast I've seen, I think one, you're interviewing normal people. The people don't do that, right?
Yeah,
Every time you log into a podcast, feels like the first 5 minutes is a guy or girl just talking about their feats that they've accomplished, like all this crazy shit. Like, yeah, I was a former district attorney for blah blah blah. Blah. Super random example. I haven't seen too many movies recently, but
yeah,
it's always something crazy, and it's like I like hearing them because they're knowledge experts. Like, true, absolutely true. There's value there, but there's something else in being able to talk to someone else who's like more down to earth, right?
yeah,
Kind of living the same life as
yeah.
a lot of the people listening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. Obviously the girl I had on last night, she was she had a story. She had a
She
story.
had a story. She had a story. That was a bit of a celebrity, yeah. Fair. Bro, I cannot believe she was actually locked up for 7.5 years.
Yo, dude, she's the
I had to go back 30 seconds. I was like, nah,
yo.
I heard that wrong.
So real talk, I invited her to Thanksgiving, right? Like
Yeah.
she didn't have like Thanksgiving to go to. So like I was like, look, you can come to mine. So she comes and then like she leaves and like I tell my family, I'm like, you know, like she was in prison for 7 years. She's like, oh, what did she go to prison for? I was just killing someone. They're like, you had someone, you like, you know what I mean? So it was just funny, man. I mean. But they know she's a good person, you know.
Yeah,
I
no,
give
for
her shit.
sure.
I'm joking with her. I'm like, yo,
And even your parents. I mean, I'm sure your parents have a bit of a radar, right? Like they can tell who's a
yeah,
good folk and who's not a good guy, right? So
yeah, yeah,
I think it goes with it. That's crazy though.
yeah, and I
What a
mean,
story.
yeah,
What
and
a
Miss,
origin story for her.
yeah,
You just
exactly,
invited her to Thanksgiving.
yeah, yeah. And our first date was, yeah, I met her mom on our first date. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
we're
Love is a
not
place.
dating, we're just friends. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, I met her mom on the first date, and you know, it
Nice
was,
lady.
yeah, she was a nice lady,
Holy shit, bro. She
dude.
has to be she must be so strong.
Yeah, she's strong, and she
Wow.
actually paid for my meal. So, you know, that was fortunate, and it was
Yeah.
unique. It was an experience, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
what guy goes on a date first time, you
Oh
know?
yeah, that's
And
never
then
happened.
like her ending up being,
Yeah, her story, all that stuff. Just
yeah, like that's just wow. It's crazy. So, you know, um yeah, so I enjoy life, you know, I've been on my grind, you know, doing my thing, promoting my brand, you know, helping people, lending
yeah.
money. You got any questions for me though?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess last time she kind of asked my question, and I was glad I listened to the end. just because I kind of wanted to ask you why you originally started the podcast too. We've talked a little bit about it here today, but I guess and this is going to be kind of different. If you could go back, right? If you can go back to Zachary Witherspoon, guy's 15 years old, about 10 years ago, what type of advice would you give him?
Let's say, um, just be a doer.
Yeah.
Be a doer. Take opportunities, uh, as quick as they come. You know.
Yeah, and I will say I think that's one thing, especially coming from the South. Growing up around here, like there's a lot of folks who aren't doers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just just being present, being able to talk to people, being a little open minded.
Yeah.
Not being dead set on, oh, I gotta do X, Y, and Z. It's like like
Yeah.
let life happen.
I mean, everything.
I like
Everyone
that.
has an agenda. Like like everyone's got to do something. Like tomorrow, you're gonna do something that you have to. But I think
Yeah,
like at the end of the day, like as long as you're getting it done, then that's what matters. And as long as you're happy and you're living, then I think that's really the joy in life is just doing what you love. And I love talking to people,
yeah.
and I've been a salesman like my entire life, and I guess that comes with real estate and just buying and selling stuff. And so yeah, I love talking to people, man. It wakes me up in the morning.
Yeah.
I love I love
I,
it.
I'm I'm definitely kind of in a similar way. Like I know whenever I go on a vacation by myself, first day might be great, right? It's like awesome. Like sure, I'm here. Second
Yeah,
day when I don't have a friend with me, dude, I become a little lazy. I become a non-doer.
right.
Let me tell you. But then I talk to folks when I'm there. My energy levels are 150. So
Yeah,
that's definitely like a reality of life. One of those
yeah.
things that's true.
And I think it's important to have like a set of people in your network to give you that inspiration. And like I do have people that I
Yeah.
talk to on a day-to-day basis. They're like, "Yo, you go to the gym yet? Hey, did you do this yet? Hey, did you do that yet?" And at the same time, I'm asking them like the same questions, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
it's like whoever beats me first. It's whoever wins, whoever
Yeah.
texts, so it's
Yeah.
like it's getting done, and I think for me it all starts with like my physical and mental health, and if I can keep that healthy, if I can keep that sharp, then I think nothing will stop me. And I think like,
I actually since we probably hung out last time, I actually started going to the gym back in January. And I'm
oh,
not,
okay.
not one of those guys who's like, oh, New Year's resolution, I'm gonna go to the gym. Hell no. No New Year's resolutions here. I was like, you know what? New city, new me. I got time during the day. They were paying me to go to the gym. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym. And to your point, right? Like when you're like I for a long time I was ignorant, right? But I was one of those guys who was like I was ignorant on purpose just because I didn't want to do it. So what I would tell myself is, hey, you want to buy into that $1 trillion market? Have fun. I'm not gonna.
Right.
What a way to not go to the
Yeah.
gym.
Wow.
What a
Wow.
way not to go to the gym. Because I was
Wow.
looking at Gymshark, I'm thinking Miami, you got that typical, very fortunate, maybe OnlyFans, God knows where she gets her money. Girl lives in Miami, she has like her 200, 500, couple $1,000 gym clothes set, has
Yeah.
her Equinox membership for, 200 a month. I kind of just took that idea, saw how commercialized it got, and I was able to kind of sit high on my hill, thinking I was a winner by like not going to the gym and just having that idea. But I will say, since like last 6 months, I have more energy. I'm more willing to do stuff with people. I used to be a guy maybe who would like I wouldn't necessarily get tired at the end of the night, but good luck trying to catch me before 1 o'clock the next day. So
Yeah.
there's something there in the sense of like I'm never gonna call it a night, but I definitely feel better waking up earlier. Being able to hit the gym, having a little bit of not just discipline, but almost like what's the
Routine.
word? Routine. Yeah, thank you. Hit on the head. So
Resume. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely something that kind of newer for me.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say, I mean, you're fucking in New York. I mean, for me, obviously, you're walking everywhere, right?
True. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
so I mean, like, dude, low intensity exercise is like one of the best that you can do, like real talk. So I would walk a lot, man. If you don't have
Yeah,
time to get in the gym, just start walking, man. Like
yeah. No,
pace
yeah.
pace back and forth. I mean, I look like a psycho sometimes in public. I'm just like pacing, just like
No, I mean,
pacing.
I can't lie. I've been going outside since I've been here, and I haven't had my gym membership. Just walking for like 35 minutes, and
Yeah,
it's pretty hot right now. Down
yeah,
here,
it's
like
hot.
I'll come back. I'll look at my shirt. I'll be like, damn, I
Yeah,
gotta either change again or shower again. Like,
yeah,
it's a sweaty
yeah.
shirt now.
It's
Yeah,
good though, dude. You need to get
yeah,
outside. It's good for you. It's good for everything, man. And I like it super hot. I go in the sauna.
really.
I'll spend like 30 minutes in the sauna. I'll put on some music. I'll crank out like 150 push-ups in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, I like it really hot. Yeah. Uh, my brother lives in Florida. We've been talking a
Mm.
lot. He's thinking about getting into real estate. So, I'm going to see him next month.
What part? It's
Shout out Florida,
well,
St. Pete.
oh, it's awesome. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm a big Florida fan. I go there a
yeah,
couple times a year for sure. I have a
yeah,
buddy in Orlando. I'm gonna send him this podcast, but
yeah. Do
Max, if you're
it.
listening to this, shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah,
But no, he's great. He has a house there. He just got into real estate. Hopefully, you guys can meet one day. He did the whole like, and I'm sure you told your brother about this. But that loan you can get for your first house.
yeah. First time home buyers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He went through kind of that whole escapade in the last couple months.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's good, man. Yeah, my brother's about to do the same thing. He's been reading some books. He's been getting knowledgeable and getting like hip to the lingo and stuff. He's a personal trainer, so you know he
Yeah,
he's learning a new skill, and I think it's important to learn different
yeah,
skills. Like you know how to sell,
yeah.
and once you know how to sell, I feel like you can sell anything.
Yeah.
Like
No, you definitely got to understand like, for at least selling, there's just some like core mechanics. Once you get them down, you just figure out what does your buyer want.
yeah,
Like who is that guy? Who is the buyer? Like what does he
yeah.
look like? What does he
But
sound like? What is he passionate
but
about?
it
But
also comes with
absolutely,
the
when you,
confidence. It comes with
oh
confidence
yeah,
too within
yeah,
yourself to be able to be that. Like,
definitely.
that.
It's a little bit of both. It's like one like you got to know what they want in the sense of if you're not, you got to be like you get that internal confidence almost for me by having not the credibility even, but just knowing what the folks I talk to want, what they like, what they desire. Because I know that, I like feel internally, powered up, like a
Yeah,
goddamn superhero. And it's like, okay, listen, man, neither of us really want to be here, but you obviously, I know what you want. I know the outcome you're going for. Let's get there as fast as possible. I will say, I think sales has changed a little bit. A lot of folks when they think of sales, they think of the guy in the suit in the damn parking lot, out in the cars selling cars. At least in technology now, just because, especially after COVID, there's been less money there than like just for corporations to go buy stuff than ever before. That being on like a team with the buyer and making the process last longer, like sometimes it's out of your control, right? Like ideally, I find my contact, my prospect in a day, and I get the DocuSign in a week.
yeah.
A lot of times that doesn't happen, right? So being on the
Damn.
same team, yeah, figuring out what needs to
A
happen,
week, a
especially.
week on a DocuSign?
Oh man, I wish it was
Dude, if,
just
if
one
I'm
week
se- if
sometimes.
I'm sending them out, I'm getting it that day, dude.
No, you better be. I'll have sometimes you have a sales leader, and this is my old company, but he would literally make me call this guy. At least I called one single guy, at least 7 times in a day one time.
But dude, I mean, that's too salesy.
Oh no, it was terrible. I had to leave the company. I was like, look, man, like I'm not just some high schooler who's just here to be here. I'm an enterprise seller. So
Dude,
if the guy doesn't want
you're
to.
a fashionable seller.
No, I mean, if he doesn't want to sign the DocuSign, that's fine, bro. I don't need you to sign the DocuSign. I'll go find someone else. Just
Yeah,
tell
so
me.
he's telling
Right?
you
That
could
type of
call him
person.
7 times in a day.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
mean, what
I
kind
would
of
never.
fucking idiot is telling you like,
No, I can't roast him because he might watch the pod. But a
ah,
lot of times, I will say, a lot of times, like
all right,
growing
well, I
up.
take it back. I just say don't
No, you're
realistically
good. But like
don't
growing up,
realistically call people 7 times a day.
you like to think that all these grown-ups that you see have it all figured out. That they know what they're doing. Like It has a grand plan. Oh, as an adult, like he knows what he's doing. In corporate America, hell no, man. Because what you'll see is you're going to see a bunch of, and candidly, when I started my career, I was a hotshot. I found success really quickly. Was able to kind of like change like my walk of life really quickly with just like earning potential. Sales. It's like in these environments, they're giving you crazy base salaries plus uncapped commission. It was mind blowing, right? I thought they were just giving money away, but what happens when you have a hotshot like that is management likes them, and then they get promoted, and then they might get promoted again, and they might get promoted again. But wait, what happened to all the training, right? What happened to how do you do this job? And if I could kind of go back, just because you're good at one job, I used to be convinced that I could just do any job,
Yeah, you
convinced,
can't. You can't.
and I know I can't, but
But
the
if you
people,
practice, you might be able
yeah,
to.
yeah, the people who get the training, the people that like should be where they are, their companies do better. But a lot of times you see people get excited, they get promoted, and then you're sitting here with a sales leader who's never been a leader in their life. And they may have been a frontline manager. Don't get me wrong. Like maybe they manage a team of 5 people, 10 people, but they've never been a leader, right? And
Yeah,
the kind of the difference is the leader is not telling you to cold call this guy 7 times in a day to get your damn DocuSign over the line, because the leader realizes that the confidence that you get when you send out a DocuSign should be that it's going to be signed that fucking day, right? Kind of as
right,
you said. Like that's the
right.
correct way. After I kind of mentioned I was a little bit hotshot, I ended up at my peak managing a team of 12 people, and that was always like, I was like, so our company was the most expensive cybersecurity company, and some people won't like this, but I said, guys, sure, you're selling cybersecurity just like Ferrari sells cars. Ferrari
Yeah,
does not sell a fucking car. Ferrari
right,
sells Ferrari.
right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so there's a lot of power that you can kind of get from that, that I think is valuable. I definitely wanted to kind of give a shout out to.
No, that makes complete sense, and I think it's important for people to know that. And yeah, I mean, Ferrari. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Ferrari is selling fucking Ferrari.
Yeah,
There's no walking up to the Ferrari guy. Oh, how much is the price? It's like it's like, all right,
right.
dude, you either want a Ferrari or not. Like I got 50 other people on the lot. I'm happy to give you a ticket. I actually read a great book one day. Name's eluding me right now. Wasn't May have been Good to Great. I can't think of the author, but there's a great line from a Ferrari salesperson, or maybe a different car, right? But he would ask his people, when do you want to get a Ferrari? And he had a little black book, and it was just a calendar book, and he would write the person's phone number and name every day, right? Because he's not like, a lot of times people aren't just commenting being like, "Oh, I want to get this Ferrari in red. Here's $1 million," right? It's a lot
Right.
of times fantasy. It's something they're working towards. They want to get there. So he opens his little black book. He calls his folks, and his leaders are sitting there. How is this guy finding someone new to buy a car every day? But no, he's kind of
It's
continually working at it. He's making that top line of the pipeline bigger and bigger and bigger, so that when push comes to shove and he makes some calls, he has people to call. So
yeah.
that's yeah,
I
that
mean,
that definitely kind of helped me.
people think it's so hard to like get good at certain things, and it's like, I was like telling this story yesterday. It's like if you do 30
Mm-hmm.
push-ups, a day, and then, you just keep little, inch by inch by inch doing one, a little bit more, a little bit more. It's
Yeah,
like that 30 is going to be easy. And that's just everything with life. It's like, you just got to kind of take things slow though, because nothing easy.
and you hit it on its nail, man. That's the difference. I think I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I think the difference is discipline, right?
Yeah.
Like we live in a world where people are trying to get rich quick. They wanna go have a sex tape to be the next Kim Kardashian, right? Like this is I remember reading online. I think I was on a little Twitter war with some guy, and he was like, "Man, if everyone just had the immigrant mentality, imagine how crazy America would be." And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of truth there, but I'm never somebody who's gonna blame someone for just seeing the world different from me. And to take it a step further, right? Because right now it sounds like, oh, I'm on their team. No, man, if you don't have discipline, don't have discipline.
Yeah.
Less competition for me. Great. So,
Yeah.
there's to anyone out there, being able to pick up a skill, being able to copyright. I know a guy in New York. He writes what's it called? He writes tweets for this big influencer. I
Yeah.
won't name the influencer now. Just we can talk about it at dinner. But he makes $500,000 a year ghostwriting tweets.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know how he's able to get paid that kind of money. I always thought about it because like it's not like this guy's like selling consumer products and his tweets like increase sales. Like they must in some way, right? Like
Yeah.
how else can you pay him? But $500,000, and this guy started copywriting only in COVID. He was a
Wow.
nurse. COVID happened, right? They were like the protected employees. He did not feel comfortable. This is kind of hot, so let's just kind of drive by it. He did not feel comfortable giving and suggesting the vaccine to two of his people. Regardless, the city of whatever kicked him out as a nurse. Um, Tried to get rid of his license. He tried to realize he needed to be his own employer, switched up entirely. Just he went from a nurse to a guy working, making money while he's asleep 24/7, right?
Boom.
This is a completely different shift that most people will never do something like this in their life. Even for
Yeah.
me, it scares me to get out of sales unless I'm going to go into something where it's like, I'm creating an agency or
Yeah.
something, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
sales adjacent. It's like, and
Yeah.
you use my skill set. This guy said, "No, fuck it. I know how to administer anesthesia, but I'm gonna become a ghostwriter." So there's something there. He practiced, he practiced, he practiced, and now the guy is one of the richest friends I have. To be honest with
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
That's cool, man. That's interesting, to be kind of a ghostwriter for somebody.
Yeah, it's so weird. I didn't even know
You
that was a
know?
profession.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean it's kind of like acting, right? I mean,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's
there's copywriting and all these things that I think especially now have started picking up speed just because. Well, I'm sure. Are you on Twitter at all?
yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
with Elon Musk on there now, he's I saw there's some guy I was following got paid like 15K in a month or
Yeah.
something. I
Hmm.
will say I think that shit's dangerous as fuck.
What?
I'm all for paying people for ads, but when people get paid based on impressions, I already think the world is more divided now than ever. The country,
Sure.
right? So
Of course. Yep.
when you
Current
take into account
generation, man.
that people are going to be paid on impressions, there's going to be so much bait, straight up bait on these platforms and on both sides. It's going to be
Yeah.
some picture of Hillary, lock her up, like whatever. That's not really bait, but it's bait for the people on the left to get mad. And then in the same vein, you're gonna have people just posting these videos, maybe even edited videos of AOC and being like, "How is this girl still employed by the U.S. government? Right? How is this woman
Yeah.
still employed by the U.S. government?" So I do have some opinions just about I don't know. I'm against censorship, right? So it's the same vein, like you can't do that, but
Yeah.
people, man, like you got to not get your emotional feelings from your phone and from online. Like if you're calling your girlfriend, you have an hour-long call, you're really happy, great. If you're going
Yeah.
on Twitter, 5 minutes after you wake up, you see a tweet, you're getting pissed. You see another tweet, you're getting anxiety.
Yep.
You see a third tweet, you're getting sad. Your body is fucked up.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
that's why I like Xbox is so fucking toxic. Like
yeah,
you get on that and like you get on a Call of Duty game, like oh they'll just talk shit like
so bad.
they'll
Yeah.
just it's just so toxic. I mean, and I've been in the environment and I was addicted at one point, a
No,
long
me
time.
too. League of Legends.
Yeah.
I mean, Xboxes were worse because it was the actual mic. But when you just give people the damn keyboard, bro, they will be saying the crazy. The amount of times I've seen the N word on that game versus
Exactly.
anywhere else,
Yeah.
ever, right? And then you go to reality and it's like, and there's some quote about Mike Tyson where it's like people forgot like if you offend me in real life, you're gonna get hit. Right? You offend someone
Yeah.
online, it's like, oh, turn off your computer. Like, sure, but
Yeah, yeah,
there's a
yeah.
there's a big difference in just like the
Yeah.
respect people give and
I was dealing with someone that was using that same
crazy.
word and it was just like ridiculous, man, because I won't lie, I did play a game the other night and I mean this dude's just going off. I'm just like, man, you're so unintelligent,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, people are crazy. They say things beyond beyond the mic, and they are who they are, but at the end of the day
Yeah.
I really focus on just being nice to everybody, honestly. Keeping a door open, when I'm in the gym, if I see a girl or a guy,
Freudian slip.
far back from me, I'll just stand there and wait until they get there. I'm not in a rush. I kind of just I'm
True.
vibing,
I like,
but at the
yeah.
same time, everybody's at different points in their life, and I'm just kind of just chilling, working on myself physically, mentally, and growing,
And I
the
gotta say,
business.
like at least the way like that's the way, right? Like you focus on you stay busy, you get 1% better every day.
Yep.
Everything else really does fall into place.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, especially in my life, my circles, like maybe they're not where they want to be. Maybe they're working towards something, not getting much change, and kind of how far away they are from the place. But good intentions, you focus on you,
Yep.
you focus on giving a shit about not just your life, just about like it's not even about the planet, fuck the planet, but like about the world, about people, about humanity. I mean, I'm a big guy. Like, I definitely look for the best in people, and I really do believe as long as you meet that first three criteria, the rest of it does fall into place. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So
but
how
I know we're kind of getting up on time here.
yeah.
I don't want to make you edit this for too long.
Oh
Do you
no,
have?
no, dude. I don't edit anything, man. Everything's fucking. It's out there. It's things in its purest and raw and organicest form is the best way possible, man. And
Raw, and uncut. I
raw,
like
raw and uncut.
it.
Yeah, yeah. But Raul, you're a good friend of mine. I'm glad you reached out to me and coming on short notice,
Yeah.
that was really cool. We'll definitely get some dinner after this.
Oh yeah.
Um, I appreciate you sharing your information in the cyber world and just letting people know who you are. Do you have any like Twitter or Instagram you want to shout out? Just if people want to get in touch with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'll post them both in the comment section once it's uploaded. But Rahul, Rahul, actually it's right there in the title with a nice little underscore right in between. And hey, if you're Zach's friends, you guys definitely got to follow back. So
All right,
that's
sounds good. All right, Rahul Zota, ladies and gentlemen.
cheers. Thank you. See you, Zach.